Hola chicos y chicas, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Ana. This is my first YouTube video and today I will be focusing on last minute tips and tricks on how to get and secure a grade 9 in your Spanish GCSE writing exam tomorrow. Make sure you like and subscribe. So, how to get a grade 9 in your Spanish GCSE writing exam. So top tips, here we go. So again, think of some snazzy sentence starters which we're going to look at throughout the course of this PowerPoint. Use connectives. We know how to use some of those already, but try and use different ones. Use opinions and use at least 3 different time frames or tenses. And use the subjunctive. This is crucial. One example is enough. So let's look at some ambitious sentence starters. In the writing exam, all examination boards want to see developed opinions and justifications. It is crucial to extend your answers with words and phrases such as a mi modo de ver, the way I see it, desde mi punto de vista, from my point of view, a mi juicio, in my opinion, debo admitir, I must admit, es necesario, it is necessary. If you get into a good habit and do this throughout all of your writing exam, this will score you in the top bands for language and content. So again, try and use these, mix them up. Instead of using en mi opinión, use a mi modo de ver, yeah? A mi juicio. Es importante. Maybe use es necesario. Yeah? We're going to look at a few others as well. Bien, so exam practice. Most important thing, I don't know if you've done so already, is to complete past writing papers. Spend time learning key vocabulary and revise the different tenses, especially in the first person and fourth person. Voy, vamos, fui, fuimos, voy a ir, vamos a ir. So voy, present tense, I go, vamos, we go, fui, I went, fuimos, we went, and voy a ir, which is immediate future, I am going to go. Yeah, vamos a ir, we are going to go. So again, this is just a quick recap on those basic tenses. So how the paper is structured. Well, you have 2 open response writing questions. One's obviously a shorter question, which is worth 60 marks for AQA, and 32 marks is for AQA is for the second question as well. And then you've got a translation from English into Spanish. So what the examiners are looking for. So they're looking at content and context, range of language, accuracy. So use complex sentence structures. Another thing that examiners are looking for in order to score top marks in the use of complex structures. I recommend learning a handful of wow phrases. So this one, the first one here, is quite a nice one. Si hubiera sido posible, me habría gustado. So if it had been possible, I would have liked to. And you would follow that with the infinitive. So infinitive, we know. So for example, me habría gustado visitar España. Second one is si tuviera la oportunidad me gustaría, followed by the conditional. If I had the opportunity, I would like to. I would also recommend learning 2 or 3 flexive idiomatic expressions that can be used in the writing exam. For example, vale la pena, it is worth. So vale la pena pasar 2 noches en España. O vale la pena probar las gambas que están deliciosas. Another one, lo pasé bomba, when giving an opinion. Echar de menos. Again, you could say, fui de vacaciones con mi familia a España y eché de menos a mi hermano. I miss my brother. Ser pan comido, this is a nice expression to say that something's really easy. El examen de conducir es pan comido. Bien. El examen de historia fue súper fácil. Maybe use fue pan comido. Bien. Another one is costar un ojo de la cara, which means to be something to be very expensive. You could say, for example, mi bolso de Gucci costó un ojo de la cara. Again, connectives and linking words. También, además, also, one we've used quite a few times. Como, like, yeah, me gusta vestirme como mi abuela. I like to dress like my grandmother. Bueno, por ejemplo, aunque, sin embargo, no obstante, for however. Again, most children use sin embargo. Try and use no obstante just to be a bit different. And then, por lo tanto, therefore, durante mis vacaciones, during my holidays, de antemano, beforehand. That's an unusual one. Y, obviously, connective there. Pero, another one. Hoy en día, nowadays. Mientras que, tampoco, claro. Por un lado, on the one hand, when you're arguing a point. Por otro lado, on the other hand, when you're talking about technology, for example. Por un lado, la tecnología es muy útil y hoy en día es necesaria. Sin embargo, por otro lado, puede ser adictiva y peligrosa. That's just an example there. So to get the 9, let's have a look. So try and not make your writing repetitive. Mix it up. Use ya que, puesto que, dado que, instead of always using por qué when justifying an opinion. Instead of es importante, use es esencial, es necesario, es imprescindible. This is a harder word that's seen at A level or A level, but try and mix it up. Make it sound interesting. Instead of using me gusta, me encanta, odio, use me chifla, me fascina. But remember to add an N at the end to make it plural. Yeah, so for example, las matemáticas me fascinan, so add an N. And then you could use no aguanto la música rock. No soporto, detesto. Again, try and mix, use a range of different opinions rather than just using the basic ones. Okay, so we're going to look at the first 16-mark question for the writing exam. Right, use the question to help you. Use it in your answer. For example, here in the first bullet point, we've got ¿qué hiciste para celebrar tu cumpleaños? Hiciste is in the preterite tense. What's essential here is to be able to identify the second person and then change it. Obviously, in this case, you don't need to use hice, but you could say, use the first person of I went, fui. So, para mi cumpleaños fui al centro de Londres con mis amigas. Yeah, I went to the centre of London with my friends. The second bullet point, your opinion about TV. Is again, use the present tense. So, en mi opinión, or a mi modo de ver, which we saw earlier, la televisión es muy relajante. It's very relaxing. Yeah? And third bullet point. So, si prefieres pasar tiempo con tus amigos o con tu familia. So, in this third bullet point, use the present tense. Do you prefer to spend your time with friends or with family? Prefiero pasar tiempo con mis amigos o con mi familia, dado que, because. And then continue with that. And the fourth bullet point, you usually need to use a future or the conditional tense. In this instance here, it's asking you, ¿qué vas a hacer este fin de semana? What are you going to do this weekend? Use the immediate future. So, este fin de semana voy a. So again, use the question to help you. Change the vas to voy. Voy a ir al cine con mi prima, por ejemplo, ¿vale? So let's go to the next slide. Okay. So this is a question, I believe, it was an AQA past paper question. I think it's a 2019 paper. and we are going to look at answering it now. So the first bullet point, as we looked at just now, answering it in the preterite tense, and we're also using the imperfect tense here. So para celebrar mi último cumpleaños fui al centro de Londres con mis amigos. Fuimos a mi restaurante favorito y comí lo que más me gusta, los calamares. Estaban deliciosos. A mi modo de ver, la televisión es relajante y educativa. No obstante, a veces puede ser adictiva. Desde mi punto de vista, prefiero pasar tiempo con mis amigos, puesto que es más divertido y me gusta jugar al fútbol con ellos durante el fin de semana. The last bullet point, si pudiera, este fin de semana me encantaría ir a ver la nueva película de James Bond con mis primas. So on this PowerPoint slide, I haven't actually highlighted all the different tenses, but as in the first bullet point here, we're using the preterite tense, fui, fuimos, comí, and then we've got the imperfect tense, estaban, yeah, estaban delicioso. On the second bullet point, we are using the present tense, es relajante, and we've got the infinitive, puede ser adictiva. And in the third bullet point, we have got a nice sentence starter, desde mi punto de vista, the way I see it, or from my point of view. And then we've got the present tense there, me gusta. And then on the last bullet point, where you're going to score the marks, you use the subjunctive to wow the examiner. If I could, si pudiera, if I could this weekend, si pudiera este fin de semana, me encantaría, I would love, yeah, and then follow it with the infinitive, me encantaría ir. And that's what's going to score you a grade 9, yeah, a 16 out of 16, using a variety of different sentence starters, using the subjunctive, using obviously the preterite tense, the present tense, and you've also got the conditional there as well as the imperfect. Bien. Okay, now we're moving on to question 2, which is a 32 marker question. Again, this one you can be more creative and add more detail. You've got more scope to do so because you're writing 150 words for this. So the title for this one is Durante tus vacaciones en España, escribes un blog para describir tus experiencias. And you've got to menciona un día de las vacaciones cuando tuviste problemas, un festival en España en que te gustaría participar. Se escribe aproximadamente 150 palabras en español. Responde a los dos aspectos de la pregunta. So the same as with the previous question, the 16 marker, make sure you answer both bullet points. In the previous one, make sure you answer all 4 bullet points. You will drop marks if you don't do so. So bien. So for the first bullet point, use the preterite tense, the past tense. And the second bullet point, you've got the option to use the future, conditional subjunctive. So try and use as many of these as you can. So this is a model answer that I've written. So el año pasado fui. I've highlighted the different tenses underneath. You've got the grid of what they are. So fui, obviously, it's a preterite, and you've got pink, you've got the present. Red, you've got the subjunctive, imperfect, perfect, and conditional, just so you can see roughly where all of these are. I might have missed a few. So let me start again. So, el año pasado fui de vacaciones a Nueva York con mis padres y mi hermano mayor. Viajamos en avión, pero nuestro vuelo estaba retrasado. Imperfect. Durante 3 días visitamos muchos lugares de interés, como la Estatua de la Libertad y el impresionante edificio Empire State. Me encantó probar los perritos calientes típicos de Nueva York. Estaban deliciosos. Aunque en general lo pasamos muy bien, el último día fue un desastre. Perdí mi pasaporte. ¡Qué horror! Después de buscarlo en todas partes, Afortunadamente lo encontré en una de las maletas. Fue una experiencia muy estresante, pero Nueva York es una ciudad realmente increíble y me encantaría volver. So for the second bullet point, we are going to use a subjunctive, which is tricky, but you only have to memorize a few sentence starters using the subjunctive to get you the grades 8 and 9. So it's quite an easy thing to do, and I will look at these later on as well. So, si pudiera, el año próximo iría de vacaciones a España, ya que me gustaría participar en las fiestas de la tomatina en Buñol. He visto, a nice one to use, I have seen, so the perfect tense, I have seen lots of videos. He visto muchos vídeos y creo que sería muy emocionante y divertido tirar tomates en las calles de la ciudad. Me encantan los festivales españoles, dado que son una experiencia totalmente diferente y me gusta conocer la cultura de países diferentes. Creo que sería una experiencia inolvidable. Again, you've got a variety of tenses. You've got some nice sentence starters, opinions. So try and use a variety of these. And this, again, will secure you the grade 9. ¿Vale? Vamos a dar opiniones. So giving opinions. So I think we looked at this briefly. A mi modo de ver, a mi juicio, desde mi punto de vista. Okay, so basically the first bullet point, in my opinion, yeah, or the way I see it, or from my point of view. So try and use a variety of these. Don't use the same ones all the time. Don't always use en mi opinión, because that's just too easy. Try and mix them up. Fue increíble, fue emocionante, fue horrible. Easy. Try and use these as much as you can. Lo pasé fenomenal. I had a great time. Lo pasamos bomba. We had a blast. Okay, this is more of an idiomatic expression, and maybe try and use this one as much as you can as well. But obviously, just use it once. Don't be too repetitive, so vary them as much as you can as well. So in this slide, we're looking at the use using the subjunctive followed by the conditional tense. This would more than likely be used on your last bullet point for the writing questions. So, si pudiera, me encantaría. If I could, I would love. So that's the first one there. Si tuviera, yeah, if I had the opportunity, si tuviera la oportunidad, or si tuviera más tiempo, if I had more time. Si tuviera dinero, yeah, or si tuviera más dinero, viajaría, I would travel. So if I had more money, I would travel. So again, try and remember si pudiera, si tuviera, followed by the conditional tense, encantaría, viajaría. Bien. And then you've got si fuera, if I was a millionaire, I would buy. Si fuera millonario, compraría. So again, try and memorize these. I will also mention that I do have a Quizlet on the Quizlet app, and on the Quizlet I am down as Ana Tutora, and I have got quite a few different topic related Quizlets on there that might be useful for you too. Bien, so sería inolvidable. It would be unforgettable. That's a nice one to try and use. Sería mi sueño. It would be my dream. Okay, so again, these two are nice. Again, at the end, the conclusion section of your writing, to add these at the end. And then, I don't know, this might come up in your translation. When I was younger, I used to this comes up quite a bit. The imperfect tense comes up quite a bit in the translation. So again, being able to identify it, cuando era, yeah? Cuando era pequeña me gustaba. And then the subjunctive comes up again, cuando sea mayor me gustaría. Again, you might be able to use it in your writing as well. And it's worth you memorizing both these. Cuando sea mayor, cuando era pequeña. Yeah, when I was younger, when I'm older. Bien. So make sure you leave time to check your work. Did you use the correct tense for each bullet point in the writing question? Make sure you have. So maybe just reread the question, the bullet points, just double check that, because that's a mistake that some people do. Don't forget to use the correct article. So el, la, los, las, yeah. So la piscina, yeah. El dibujo. Normally, if nouns end in a, they tend to be feminine. There are some exceptions to the rule. In o, they are masculine. And then obviously las ciencias, if it ends in s, it's plural. So add las or los, yeah? Las ciencias, los trenes. Again, word order, make sure that you follow, the noun is followed by the adjective. So, for example, tiene el pelo largo y ondulado. In English, we say it's the other way around, the adjective followed by the noun. He or she has long, wavy hair. Then the second example is el acoso es un problema grave. So bullying is a serious problem. Es un problema grave. So agreement. So does the adjective match the noun? Singular. Is it singular, plural, masculine, feminine? So here we've got el coche rojo. Yeah, masculine, rojo. Las casas pequeñas. Yeah, plural, feminine, plural. Yeah, as. El postre estaba delicioso. So it ends in O because el postre is masculine. And then una, unos, unas. Again, making sure you use these correctly as well. Feminine, feminine singular, feminine plural. Masculine singular, masculine plural. So, vivo en una casa antigua. I live in an old house. Quisiera unas uvas. I would like some grapes. Then to the. Mistakes are made with this quite regularly. So again, just reread your work and make sure you haven't made a mistake using al, a, la, a, los, a, las. Bien. So, quiero ir al parque. Quiero ir a la playa. Yeah. Quiero ir a las montañas. Yeah. Quiero ir a los parques. Yeah. So, again, reread your work and make sure you haven't made the mistake of using the wrong one to the. So from the or of the, again, del, de, la, de los, de las. Okay, so el día de los muertos. Yeah. El hotel está cerca de la playa. It's near the beach. Yeah. Cerca de la playa, so feminine. Me encanta esta parte del libro. I love this part of the book. So de él becomes del. Yeah, so remember that. De él becomes del. Bien. So ambitious language. So try and use these if you can. These wow words will impress the examiner. So fue inolvidable. It was unforgettable. Es increíble. It is incredible. Fue emocionante. Yeah, it was exciting. Es entretenido. It's entertaining. Fue impresionante. It was impressive. Again, try and use some of these instead of fue guay. Yeah, nah. Try and use some of these to, again, wow the examiner. Opinions, again, me chifla. I love. A mi juicio. Instead of en mi opinión, a mi juicio. No aguanto, no soporto. I can't stand. Yeah. No obstante. Instead of sin embargo, try and use no obstante. And sería mi sueño. I'm sorry, I'm missing the ño there. So sería mi sueño. It would be my dream. Yeah. So again, try and use some of these. Impress the examiner to get that grade 9. Hopefully, all or some of these tips can help you to structure your own revision plan for Spanish GCSE to try and get you that 9 or A star A star rather. The ability to cultivate good habits is key to learning anything, and if you put in the effort, I'm sure that you are capable of achieving your best in Spanish. Muchísima suerte, chicos. Un abrazo, Ana, and don't forget to like my video and to subscribe. Adiós, hasta luego.